Every time you walk into a supermarket, you grab a cart, you've got your list, you think you're in charge, right? You're making the calls, deciding what you need. But what if I told you there's a hidden system at play? One that's designed to guide your every single move.
It seems like a simple question, but the answer? Well, it's way more complicated than you'd think. Because the moment you walk through those automatic doors, you're stepping into an environment that has been carefully, meticulously engineered to influence everything you do.
And yeah, when you get to the checkout line, you look down at that cart full of groceries, and it feels like you, a collection of your own personal choices, your needs, your wants. It feels like you were in the driver's seat the whole time.
But what if that feeling of control isn't the whole story? What if a whole lot of those decisions were subtly shaped for you before you even made them? That's what we're going to unpack right now, the hidden architecture of persuasion that's built into every supermarket.
So where does it all begin? Literally, the second you walk in the door. The very first thing the store wants to do isn't to sell you a single thing. It's to change your pace and to change your mindset. Think about it. You ever noticed how the entrance to a grocery store is always so spacious? You've got these wide entrances, these big open areas right at the front, and tons of bright, welcoming light. That's not just for looks. It's all designed to make you feel relaxed, comfortable, and get you to slow way down. And here's the simple but really powerful reason why. It's one of the fundamental rules of retail. The more time you spend inside a store, the more money you're probably going to spend. So slowing you down, that's the first and maybe the most important step in their whole game plan. Okay, so they've got you slowed down. What's next? Well, now the store's job is to guide you. Most of us feel like we're just wandering freely, grabbing what we need, but in reality, we're being led along a very specific, carefully planned path. Here's how they do it. The staple items, the things that are on almost everyone's list, are intentionally spread out. They're put as far apart from each other as possible. This is no accident, it's a core strategy. And this just lays it out perfectly. You need milk? Well, you have to walk all the way to the back corner of the store. Need a loaf of bread? That's probably in some far-off aisle. And the eggs? Oh, they're on the complete opposite wall. It forces you to cover the maximum amount of ground. The logic here is so simple, but it is incredibly effective. They make you walk more, which means you see more products. And the more products you see, the more chances there are for you to go, ooh, I could use that, and make an unplanned purchase. All right, so that's the big picture layout of the store. But now let's zoom in, way in, to the micro level, the shelves themselves. Because let me tell you, not all shelf space is created equal, not by a long shot. And this right here is the key. Eye level on a shelf is basically the beachfront property of the entire store. It is the most valuable real estate there is. Why? Because it's where your eyes naturally go, and what you see first is what you're most likely to buy. So stores put their most profitable items in the biggest, most recognizable brand names right there at eye level. Easy to see, easy to grab. And the cheaper alternatives, like the store's own brand, well, those are often way down on the bottom shelf, where you actually have to bend over and look for them. What you see directly impacts what you choose. And it's not just about where things are, it's also about how they're priced. These prices aren't just numbers, they're psychological signals. A price ending in 0.99 just feels so much cheaper than the next whole number. And special offers like buy two, get one free create this feeling of getting a great deal, while limited time deals create a sense of urgency, like you have to act now. So at the end of the day, while it absolutely feels like you have total freedom of choice, the reality is a little different. You're actually choosing from a very carefully curated set of options, all presented in a way that nudges you toward one decision over another. Okay, you did it. You navigated the maze, you faced all the little psychological tricks on the shelves, and you are finally ready to pay and leave. But hold on. The store has one last little trap waiting for you. By this point in your shopping trip, you've probably been in the store for a while. You've made dozens of little decisions, paper or plastic, this brand or that brand. And your focus, and maybe more importantly, your willpower, is starting to get a little worn out. It's something called decision fatigue. And the checkout aisles are designed to take full advantage of that fatigue. We're talking about the impulse zones. They're filled with candy, magazines, cold sodas, all these small, low-cost items that require a quick, thoughtless decision at the exact moment your defenses are at their lowest. So why is this whole system so darn effective? It's simple. It's because it's invisible. It doesn't feel like you're being controlled. It just feels like a normal shopping trip. And it's pretty much impossible to resist a system you don't even know is there. And this really is the absolute truth of it. Supermarkets don't have to force you to do anything. They don't have to grab your hand, because there's a much more powerful and much more subtle way to influence you. See, instead of trying to control your actions directly, they just shape the environment around you. And when our environment is changed, even in small ways, our behavior almost always follows suit, quietly and without us even realizing it. So the next time you're pushing a cart down the aisle, just take a second, look around, notice the layout, notice what's at eye level, notice those snacks at the checkout. And then ask yourself, are you really the one making all the decisions? Or is the system making a lot of them for you?